Oh, well, look at who it is. It is the intrepid dynamic duo,
Yes.
Mr. Dead War 2012, aka Fred, and Mr. RW Tech, real RW Tech,
Yeah.
sort of lamenting just the conditions of our world, you know. We're actually on the hunt for this guy named Luigi. He's a resident of the Mushroom Kingdom, and he is guilty of murder.
Do you actually think that's
Oh,
the
wait,
real
no.
guy, or do you think it's like a patsy? I'm leaning on the patsy side.
I don't know what's I don't know what's going on anymore.
Nothing's
Can
real.
I read you?
The fucking mob took back over. We just don't even know it.
Can I read you an interesting post I saw today? It's not completely related to this, but you'll get a kick out of it. Ugh. My apologies. I'm eating kebab chips and I'm burping up kind of like a fat Persian man. Um, all right. Um, so there was some German who had a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse, and he goes, "As a German, I will never understand how on earth the kid can walk on an open street with a gun." And then this guy, I think his name's Lo Ping. He's this guy. He's a character.
Lopin can be hit or
Um,
miss. He's mostly missed these
yeah,
days.
you
He
know.
he kind of pisses me off sometimes.
Well, Fred, listen, the same could be said about you or me.
Uh-huh.
But what he did say that was interesting was nobody should listen to German. And he goes through all these like examples. This was a hit. This was a hit. Even Mr. Cynic over here. Uh, and it was a map of the Roman Empire at its height. Oh boy, this was sure a nice continent spanning empire we have here. Prosperity is high. People are benefiting from infrastructure never before seen. Things couldn't be. Guten Tag! And it goes down. Wow, that was sure a dark time. Thankfully, the sons of Europe are all united once more under a single banner of faith. And then it's a picture of Martin Luther. Guten Tag! And it's a picture of Hitler, which that one writes itself. I mean,
that one is
yeah.
clearly all right.
We've recovered from the Great War. The Guten Tag!
Here comes
Although,
Germany to fuck everything up again.
not to listen, Hitler. It's like what Joe Rogan had a guy on. He's like, you have to just say he's a piece of shit because otherwise you get accused of Nazi. All right, piece of shit. Yes, it's just.
Yes, everybody
But
knows Hitler is a
it's
piece of
like,
shit.
but once again, like Hitler's rise to power completely the result of a country being blamed for an entire war that was multiple people's fault.
Well, get a bunch of people in one place, piss them all off, and then give them like a really crazy fucking despot. Things start making a little too much sense. All right.
Mamma
In my
mia.
off time, I did grind up some med kits. Did you do the same?
Nice. I didn't because
Oh,
I've become a corporate shill and I've been shilling.
you've been shilling?
Um, yeah, it's a long story.
Not shekels,
Let me tell
shillings?
you. Well, my stream tomorrow is going to be called Shillception because I'm trying to learn the ways of being a shill. Because Jeff Keighley, I mean, look, you and I, Fred, we know this is a man who
There's a naked lady here. Weird.
is actually Killian Murphy, and 28 years later, you got a sex change.
Oh man, I still haven't have had the heart to watch the trailer, but like really, Hollywood, can you just stop killing people that have happy endings or making them break up between movies? I'm really getting fucking sick of it.
Wait, one caveat: it's not Hollywood's fault. That is an exclusively British
The
production.
big black cock got to it. Hello?
Although,
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
sorry, my yeah, that was this. Well, the virus took over before the the former subjects took over the current day England. Ooh, medical supplies. All right.
You know what? You know what would make me watch that movie though? If they
Yeah.
took like a really, really, really good lifelike recreation of zombified Jimmy Savile and they just bashed its brains in.
Well, that would be pretty.
Oh wait, the BBC won't do that because they're all friends with him.
Yeah, they kind of like they kind of basically enabled him to like.
Honestly, like the whole Jimmy Savile situation was basically a microcosm of what happened in Hollywood. Like, I still find it funny that people were fucking shocked that everybody at Disney and fucking like Nickelodeon turned out to be pedophiles.
I've got.
Oh, sorry, it hasn't been proven with Disney yet.
Let me give you a caveat. This is meant to be a joke, but I have a very dark way of looking at this. The Japanese, they encourage like their engineers to make very efficient, reliable engines, or maybe their creators to make these inspired worlds. The Americans, we encourage people to manifest destiny and save up for that American dream, even though it doesn't exist. But still, the beauty of it is there sometimes.
You'll make it eventually. You just got to sell your soul.
If there's one thing that the BBC knows how to do, it's to maximize a pedophile's victims.
It's really sad, but true.
It's what's kind of funny is like the BBC is always like the one too that goes to like those UN camps where there's like refugees, like in Darfur or in Sudan, and I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Do you know the amount of rape that happens at those UN refugee camps?
Like it's a fucking shocking amount. Like
Jimmy Savile. There's a unit of action.
How many samples of rape do we have this time? We got 8. Holy shit! 8. Are the Arabs at it again?
Wow.
Sorry, is that a 2 on the nose? Why isn't this guy talking to me? I'm not talking about you in your childhood. I'm actually gonna drop that joke. Talk to me.
Is that a good way to sharpen a blade?
I don't even fucking know.
I mean, it's a good way to start a fire.
Okay, I guess he didn't have a mission. But this game always confuses me because it puts like fucking exclamation points on the map, but not all of them are missions.
Yeah.
I guess we're going this way now. We're just doing some side question.
Yeah. My audio good?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I know both tracks are playing on my side. What about you?
Well, that's a good question.
Have you checked?
I no. One would think, Fred.
If things want to work, you just gotta trust them.
Well, I perfectly enjoyed spending like 40 minutes downloading my Twitch stream and getting the audio from yours and Jerry Riggins.
Well, the only reason I ask is because it didn't pop me up with a message and ask me anything.
And by the way, it created an issue in Final Cut, and let's see.
Okay, it's playing on your end. Okay, good. Super weird how it just like. I still have no idea why it cut my audio last time.
No, it's not. It's not. That was your stream popped up on my Twitch.
Oh.
If you go to party chat on yours, can you make sure your include game audio thing is checked?
Where would that be under?
You go to you go to the left tab where it says all the way over where it says like parties and chat. And you click on it, and
parties and chats.
There should be like a box at the top that says include game audio.
It doesn't. There.
It's not on yours. Or did you find it? Or because sometimes it's not there, and then
it's not there.
I don't have it.
Because it's not in the party. It's like on the home screen.
Well, Fred, if you don't mind me jerry rigging my stream again with your audio,
by all means. So are you
Yeah.
streaming like just directly through the Xbox, or do you actually have it hooked up to a capture card?
No, I'm streaming directly through Twitch because if I will, my brain will break if I hook up my other capture card to this setup. It's just, it would create.
It sounds like you're
nightmare.
creating a headache right now.
No, it's not that bad. It was just the when I say 40 minutes, it was just like the download time for the file.
Yeah.
The actual syncing the audio up was actually quite easy because I have like a little utility that will do
Yeah.
that for me. It was the anticipation, Fred,
Why am I jumping?
and
backwards?
also the fact that somehow the rendering of those two videos into one thing on my MacBook made my Final Cut library, which was empty
Mhm.
because I usually use an external drive, somehow up the size of my library to 284 gigabytes for a one video.
Jesus,
Yeah, but
that's
the
as
rendered
uncompressed
videos,
as this game. Actually, this game is reasonably compressed.
Apple must have hired a Polish engineer in their Final Cut team or something because it rendered beautifully, but it definitely was janky. Which
Yeah.
kind of, I think that's.
Oh, there's herbs
that's
here
a
if you want to pick them
stereotype.
up for like a health kit.
Yeah, let me just.
I'm trying to incentivize you to get some healing items so I don't have to be running back to try and pick you up. And that way your screen isn't filled
Well.
with you dying all the time.
Fred. Listen, we'll find some games where you have some struggles. All right, you got. Some,
I mean, if you want to play me in
You know,
Smash, I'll fucking lose every fucking time.
well, listen. I'll get fucking Tekken loaded up too.
Oh,
'Cause
Jesus.
I'm a boss of that
Ooh,
game.
fuck.
Uh,
Tekken I'm actually not too bad at, but that's mostly because I just smash
Yeah.
the buttons.
well, that is an easy way to win in fighting. games.
You did not win. You just low kicked me 100 times.
There is a little bit of a joy to people that actually catch this on Twitch though when it's live.
Yeah.
Because they listen, if you are tuned into my stream, I am not schizophrenic. At least I don't think I am. There's actually another person on the stream. It's just that I have to. I'm a little bit retarded, and well, they already know about my TV. If anybody's actually tuned into me, they know about my fucking TV splitter.
Yeah.
Esco. They didn't know that I was getting a new mattress that got fucking lost in the mail. Oh boy.
Well, it's not like that one body pillow
I'm
that I
having
tried to
luck.
order that never came.
What is the irony? I'm not saying you're more of an otaku than me, but I'd say you're a little bit more of a, fan of the Orient, and not.
I enjoy the
not
animes.
disparagingly. Well, I do too, but like if you were to ask me some like random question about Middle Earth, I'd be more probably astute to do that. Where if I asked you for like what are the best tit physics in anime, I would trust your expertise.
That's a tough one.
And maybe it's the jelly girl from Monster Musume. There's some.
I mean,
Would that count though? Or is that just naturally unfair due to her kind of?
I mean, there's really no physiology to that one. She just kind of grows, shrinks, and is retarded, and I love it.
Me too.
Plus, you can skull fuck her and she won't die.
I forgot about these two.
Oh, the weirdos. I'm glad you missed what I just said.
They kind of look like if somebody abducted DSP.
Abducted DSP and put him on a workout plan.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what he needs.
A twin brother to work out with.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare. Two DSPs at the same time.
Jesus Christ. That might be the only thing that can destroy DSP is clone of himself.
Oh God.
Kurt!
Might as well grab all the fucking quests here.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to suck your dick for $1. Of course, goatee, easy.
Oh, jeez. I thought it was $20 bare minimum, Fred.
my self-respect,
You're competitive.
my self-respect and self-esteem has just been eroded by the constant bullshit I've been dealing with at work. So right now, I'm a cheap whore.
You know, Fred, I didn't want to say anything, but can I share a story?
Sure.
You know, before we started streaming, I was kind of yapping it up to Fred, and I sometimes I know I go on my tangents, but like I'll say it now because we're streaming, so Fred won't get as mad as what I'm about to say. It's Fred's kind of like aura. I hate that term, but it does fit this. Was sort of like in an RPG game where you just pick the dot option. I was like, all right, I'm gonna, I'm gonna be a little bit cool tonight because Fred sounds one bad like interaction away from.
Turning into the guy from Falling Down.
Well,
I want
not
a
quite. That's at least
McGriddle.
That's 2 bad days.
Too bad. I just have to get attacked in a drive-by. That's what'll put me over the edge. I just finally lose it when I see the most guns I've ever seen in New York, and I got shot at with them. Where do these guys get all these? I don't want them. I just take them.
Wow. In honor of that, Fred, if that does, I hope that
doesn't
happen.
Falling Down take place in L.A.?
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck? I mean, I know it's like technically 90s LA. How did they get all that fucking like weaponry? Like, besides being criminals, like you would think it'd be a little harder to get a fucking MAC-10.
California actually had fairly lax gun laws compared to some other states up until like the early 2000s, until like Columbine. They actually, even New York had fairly lax gun laws,
Yeah.
believe it or not. But yeah, it is.
And children had to ruin it for the rest of us.
Oh, you know, DARPA did.
DARPA.
But yes,
Sweeper sales.
those are just their DARPA.
Poor gals. Wait, no, that's the lady from fucking Wife Swap. You know what? I would unironically love it. Love it if Alex Joe's just like all of a sudden said, I'm fighting Gorgals, demons, paganism.
I do. Let me share this plan with you. I do actually plan on streaming tomorrow, and
Nice.
I think I was saying this a little bit earlier. I plan on calling it Shillception because I am, according to Rock Solid on X, I am a shill, which I didn't know before. And
Who?
oh, this guy, don't worry about it. But I
okay. What?
don't listen.
Okay, zombies are coming. We gotta make moves.
Point being, Fred, I'm gonna learn from the best tomorrow. I need to know their ways. Okay. So you're gonna see Shillception.
Shillception. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Do you want the story? It's boring.
And you know, we might as well like go over it. What the hell happened?
So listen, the let me give you a hypothetical.
Okay.
This is actually an interesting hypothetical. Let's say.
Well, you go to prison if you tell me the truth.
No, let's say you're Microsoft.
Okay.
And you want to make let's say that there's an alternative reality where Microsoft is the one that publishes Dying Light. Now, what would actually get an audience? Maybe showing the actual gameplay itself and having the actual developers that actually work on the game talk? No, you're not going to do that. You are going to sell this as a Resident Evil esque game, third-person action game like Resident Evil, and you're going to have the truniest troon completely destroy any hype for this game from the get-go. So then,
wait, what is this game?
Oh no, well, let me finish my parable.
Okay.
It's long-winded. So then, So then when the actual game releases, there's no actual like audience that it naturally jumps into the game, and the only way that it's going to spread is through word of mouth. That would which would take years for the game to actually develop
Oh, shit.
a following. Not like Dying Light. What did you do? What did you do?
I'm sorry. I fell through a fucking. I fell through a fucking gate in the ground.
Okay.
It's not my fault.
So the point is, Fred, I, you and Lolly were talking about the Indiana Jones game, but the guy that Wally was responding to said he's like on this tangent about like, oh my God, if you see anybody talking positive about this game, they're a shill.
What?
So no, listen. So I did an hour stream yesterday. Just I completely took the piss out of the guy, but I'm not done. I need, and actually I think you will appreciate my comedic stylings because I was very concise, and I got to be honest, I was kind of ripping Jim off. You know, I even had his kennel cough, I call it.
Okay.
You know, pre-cancer, but like, you know, enough cigarettes to like fucking make a man high off of them. Cough. Maybe I had some pipe tobacco yesterday. We won't tell. But maybe it wasn't even tobacco. Who even knows what it was? Might have been the ganja.
the wacky tobacco.
Right. Be shilling.
Terrible.
The next thing you're gonna see me do, Fred, okay, is you're gonna see me with a I actually got a little bit of a comedic skit planned for tomorrow's stream, so you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
I'll listen. You know what I've been thinking about doing anyways is I know this is contrite, but you listen. You be my either angel or devil. You know those little cartoons. Should I do like a like if I find like an interesting story? Do you think I should like make like a short video rant if it's something that I feel passionate about, or do you think that that's like a
hey, as long as the passion's there, people will know. Fucking do whatever.
Because I genuinely, you know this, I think I've made at least 3 or 4 attempts, which sadly I don't think any of the videos saved because of Twitch's retarded ass. Like, Twitch is a retarded ass thing when it comes to like how long your streams stay up there, and if you don't move them over to the YouTube, you're basically fucked.
Yeah.
So, I don't think I did it last year. That's actually when I was fucking sick of the dog. But like 2 years ago and 3 years ago, and I think maybe even with you back on Game Blather, we streamed the Game Awards.
Yeah.
And so my point is, Fred, I'm gonna stop my long-winded tirade in a second, but my point is the following. I've experienced 3 agonizing streams of this award show. So if I decide to stream it tomorrow, I don't think I can not make a rant about it. Because if I put myself through that and it turns out to be another piece of shit show...
Oh, you know it's going to be.
Well, you know what pisses me off? I see some asshole, and I know this is bullshit, but what if it isn't? You know, like that 1.1% chance that it isn't, because apparently there's a rumor that that Gabe Newell will announce Half-Life 3 there, and I'm like, that is such a fucking bold-faced lie.
Yeah, I think it's a long shot if he even like does.
It's a long shot for that man to show up there, even, I think. I don't...
Yeah, does Gabe Newell even give a shit about the Game Awards?
I gotta imagine he actively despises Jeff Keighley and everything he stands for.
I don't know. Like, I don't think he gives the poor bastard a spare thought.
He probably doesn't even know who he is.
Probably not.
What's this man? Who are you talking about? Jeff Keighley. Is that like an Adam Sessler type?
Nah, I mean... Not nearly as bad somehow. He just likes money.
Well, the problem is, it's like you have like a golden goose, and like basically the only widely discussed gaming award show, which I hope that changes because Stuttering Craig is launching one too. The problem is, and this is probably a problem with, and I like Craig and I like his podcast, but like, I hope he does. I hope he does clear house of like the fucking people that have revealed their truth. Or I don't mind if he has them on their show, but I hope he at least holds them to their bullshit. If you're bringing people on your show and they turn out to want to censor video games, your whole like reason for relaunching your career is to like encourage freedom in gaming.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta hold those people to fire, even if they're your friends.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, it's the same. Well, it's the same thing with people like. Well, you finish your thought, but I have something I want to build
like
on it.
if I started coming on stream all of a sudden saying like, oh, I think games should be censored, like I would want Fred to take the piss out of me.
Oh, dude, I'd be so pissed. Like I'd be so beside myself. I'd be like, no, not you.
You would dox my Tifa body pillow. You just say, Ray's got a Tifa fucking body pillow.
That's your wife, dude. I can't do that to her. But
she'd leave me.
she just gets up on her little pillow feet and just walks out your door. But like,
it'd be the first time she was unstiffened in
well,
years.
It's so fucking bizarre. Like that people like. It's just like we can't fucking win with these like goofballs because you got one side like all of a sudden like going back onto the like video games need to be censored. This is uncalled for. Like I'm scared of butts and breasts, and then on the other side like it's a bunch of retards being like, look at where all the tits and ass are coming from. China has saved us, and it's like China caused all of the ailments in the gaming industry that we've been fucking suffering with. Do you not remember ESG? You know who funded most of ESG? The Chinese.
After hearing about who,
ooh,
after hearing, I do have an opinion that I think you'll agree with, but you might have like one of your,
fits.
You might have maybe a little bit of a divergence. But can I tell you this about that Marvel Rivals game? I don't have any interest in playing it because I found out who made it, and I don't like who made it. But it does, I think you'll agree with this, it brings me joy that it did dethrone Overwatch. And that's not to say that I really want that game to do well.
Yeah.
But after the years of watching Blizzard completely squander what could have been a very like positive and successful arena shooter and like constantly like because I was around and I know like I don't think you were ever big on Overwatch, right?
I tried, but it like I could never I could never get into the hero shooter craze. I burnt out my whole like multiplayer shooter thing like back in the early aughts with the Modern Warfare games.
But I think you can at least appreciate that when the game did come out, there was like an actual
I like the porn
appeal to it for people. Well. Yes, but besides that, like I think you would agree that it was like, yeah, okay, the game had like an appeal to it that like made sense for people to want to play it. But like they completely squander that. And I'm somebody that quite enjoy. Oh, you're dead. Look at this. The tables have fucking turned.
And I have over 100 med kits. This is getting ridiculous. I just blew the.
You have 100 fucking med kits. I have 0.
Over 100. It's even worse than you think. Now there's another plane. What are we even doing in that building?
That would have been a great stream. By the way, Fred, that would have been such a great stream.
It's not September, Ray. but it's like I don't mind people playing these Chinese knockoff games. I don't mind people enjoying them. In fact, like a few of them actually look kind of cool. Like Right now, it's mostly just a concept. There's not any actual gameplay of it. It's just like, hey, this is what the game is going to be like. It's a vertical slice. The trailer for Anata, which is basically going to be, I don't know, Anime Saints Row or Anime GTA.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you said Anime GTA.
It looks all right, but I will admit, it's not an actual game yet. But, like, to be fairly honest, how much of this shit is going to be just bogged down in microtransactions like every other fucking thing that China makes? Like everything that comes out of like China is mostly gotcha slop and clones of other games. Like they're not unique. Like stop pretending. Like it's okay to like a game that's like another game that you want to play. It's okay to buy into a game. Just don't kid yourself and say this is going to save gaming when it's coming from China, the biggest censor capital on fucking Earth. You motherfucklet.
Once again, what is one of the biggest problems that Western gaming has that isn't even the thing that a lot of people are cognizant of, and it was kind of the thing I was riffing off and on X a couple of days ago, was the complete failure of marketing for the new Indiana Jones game, because it's a game that the only way the audience is ever going to appear there is through word of mouth. And it's like,
well, it's like everybody already like saw like names like Troy Baker and saw the fucking Spurg Brigade like taking over the game, and it's like we wanted to make this. I'm already done hearing you. Shut the fuck up. Like that's everybody's reaction.
But Fred, the point. Here's my thing. The game itself though
is good.
Not like, yeah. The problem is like, it still kills me. And this is like the thing you said. Like why was it rated teen? It's because, well, I mean, also like the movies were all rated PG or PG-13, but that was a different.
Yeah, it was a different time period.
But like,
you can say fuck in a PG-13 movie back in the day. I can't slide through there.
Yeah. But the problem is they completely destroyed the audience that game would have had by by the people that they had showing the game. Because like, I don't even know if that fucking trooned out motherfucker was even on the actual dev staff. They could have.
Like no doubt, most of these people are in do nothing jobs. Like, you ever see those videos of people who say they work in tech fields, but all they do is dick around all day and just drink smoothies and eat like fucking fancy food?
He was the guy that did the cat picture mechanic, which, like, and that was my other point. It was like the fact that became like the most discussed part of the game when like the actual.
Oh, it's actually upsetting. Like, it is dumb.
Well, like, the part that's upsetting too is like, this is probably the closest thing that like a major company has made to an immersion sim since like the original Dishonored.
Really?
And it's. Yeah, I mean, like, there's literally a stealth element that you can literally play most of the game's action moments as a stealth, or you can go into combat. And, like, the one guy that was, like, nitpicking the combat was, like, picking a moment early on in the game when Indiana doesn't even have, like, any of the brawler upgrades, and it's against the fucking 9-foot-tall giant. I'm like, yeah, the combat is a little clunky, but it was, like, picking the worst possible example. It was, like... Yeah. Imagine if, like, to show the combat of a Deus Ex game, you picked, like, one of the horrifically bad boss fights from fucking Human Revolution.
Well, not even. Yeah. Like, imagine if you're trying to, like, show the good parts of Deus Ex, and you make somebody play the beginning. Like you don't put them halfway through the game with any upgrades. You don't give them any dialogue trees to go through. You just knock them in that one first mission where you barely have any of your stats upgraded. It's like, okay, this is what the game's about. Have fun. Okay.
I mean, and the thing is, it's like, they did. I've never seen so much self-inflicted damage on an actual. Like,
these people can't help themselves. Like I swear.
A decent game, like a decently good game that could have had like a pretty. The problem is too, and this is what Razorfist said, because I think Razorfist is actually probably going to play it and love it, because it kind of, I could just see himself, like, I could just see that man have joy when he, like, there's just moments that'll bring him joy, but like, not to keep fucking glazing Razorfist, but the one thing that he said that was true is like, the damage that Disney did to the Indiana Jones brand, even prior to this game, with Dial of Destiny.
Like, honestly, like, even if they didn't shoot themselves in the foot with advertising, that game was dead on arrival no matter what.
Because of Dial of Destiny being just...
Well, just for, like, the disrespect the Indiana Jones series has kept getting and still keeps getting, like, from people who don't deserve to work on this license.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is this game is probably the only time we're gonna see this character get like a somewhat decent story
Yeah.
for. I mean, I'm you know, honestly, you know what? If this was at least the end to the character, at least he had a decent send off, which, you know, he kind of did with Crystal Skull. Other than that being a very the
It,
problem I have with that movie, it's very disjointed.
it
I don't
is
think it's
it's a
not a
very
bad
weird
movie.
movie.
It's just it seemed like it was trying to be like two different films in one film, and
I'll
it
betray you
never
and
really
me, but
found.
we're secretly still best friends.
Well, like they didn't make it. They picked like in the Soviets, they didn't really pick a good villain. Like what they did in this game is like, yeah, the Nazis are the main villain, but they also have like Mussolini fascists, which makes sense. And it's like, well, you know, why didn't they think of something like that for Crystal Skull? Because like, you know, the especially the characters they picked as the villains were not entertain. They were very unentertaining in that film. That was the only thing that carried the film was Harrison Ford and Shia LaBeouf,
Yeah.
and you know, the
What's
problem
weird
too.
is I
I
like
mean,
the
I
few fights the few fist fights he got into with the one Russian dude.
oh yeah,
Those were
the
fun.
sad thing, and I said this in my stream yesterday. It's like, well, you know, what could have been if Shia LaBeouf didn't have like a multi-year crash out?
Fucking Jesus. That's an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've gathered, he's sort of found some kind of, you know, he's found faith, and he's, I think, trying to rebuild his life. You know, he it must most of the damage was
Yeah.
self-inflicted, but always I will always give someone credit that tries, even if they damage their own life. Like if somebody tries to at least repair
What the
their
fuck?
problems,
Get
I
off
think.
your knees, dude. Shia, I know even Stevens was horrible for you, but come on, dude.
Yeah, this guy kind of looks like a
It's,
Shia LaBeouf.
he looks like Shia LaBeouf's dad.
If
Shut up, Zaid.
only he was there to help us.
Was even Stevens Nickelodeon again, or was that actually like Disney Channel?
That was one of the rape emporiums. That's another company that has Savile.
I swear to God, I'm just waiting for it. Like I'm waiting for Disney to get its day in fucking court because there is no way they've gone on so long being like backing the things that they do, and there isn't a controversy about them raping kids into fucking oblivion.
By the way, who's the fat fuck that was like the one with the foot fetish?
Oh, that's Dan Schneider, the fucking iCarly guy,
Yeah.
right?
Do you know what my maybe my brain is just like from all my social media posting, I'm like becoming terminally schizoid. But I do
Well,
have
it's
a
like
conspiracy
I
theory. Do you want to hear my conspiracy theory though?
yeah, go ahead.
I feel like as degenerate as he might have almost been the fall guy for like even more sinister things happening at those
Oh no,
channels.
definitely.
Because like he seemed like a surface level kind of like still a sick piece of shit, a sick puppy.
Well, it's like people didn't know how
you know.
deep the rabbit hole went until Jared Fogle got fucking busted for being a weirdo.
Woo! Did you ever see some of his interactions? And even
He's
like
such
he
a
had, like,
fucking weird.
real, like,
It's like you see these people, and it's like a parody that South Park would make, like of a rapist. It's like that whole episode of when fucking Ike was getting kidnapped by getting kidnapped by the like school teacher, like the lady school teacher, like fucking Gary Pochet style, and then like fucking I don't even fucking know, dude. Like all these stories feel like that bit, but it's real, and you laugh at it because it's fucked up. But then you start to realize, oh my god, this keeps happening. Why does this keep happening?
all right, I was just busy lock picking in case I'm a little bit behind
Oh.
you. I got an Ottoman sickle.
Nice. The sun never sets on the
Oh,
Ottoman
man.
Empire.
Yeah, you're 100%
But
right.
and
in that
I
assessment,
do
isn't it?
get tired of bringing it up, but like shit's like it keeps
You can't
happening.
avoid it though.
It keeps happening. It's tiring, but it feels annoying not to bring it up because it's like, hey, here's another bad person. Watch out for them.
Well, I do yearn for the day where, like, you know how like Trump's put Robert Kennedy in control of our health, and he's got that really like that amazing man Tom Hooman in charge of the border.
That man's a
Sam
fucking trip. Like people are just so done with it that like legit like these politicians are finally getting a chance to I'm sure the left sees them as the supervillains that they finally get to fight, but like really everybody who's like looking at this who is just so fucking tired of all the bullshit is seeing a person like being asked what happens to the families who get separated because of deportation. And he's like, what do you mean? You deport the families together. It's just
That's right.
like legit, like in any other sense, like that would be a really hard and cruel thing to say. But we're finally at the point where we're like, no, fuck these people, deport them all. I don't fucking care. They never belonged here in the first place.
But part of the reason why he has that hard approach is actually
It's because
sad because
everybody's been so soft. But he has a backstory.
No, but it's not just because he's a prick. It's because he like he was a border agent and he saw like he it was actually a very sad story. He was on Dr. Phil and he talked about like one of these little migrant kids that they like stuffed into a vehicle to bring across the border and he was dying from heat exhaustion and he was standing over him praying, as he basically knew the kid was a goner and it was like who wouldn't become like a fucking angry prick after that shit?
Well, it's like these people like I don't even know like how to describe their thought process, but they think every fucking thief is stealing like bread for like orphan children, like the orphan children from Aladdin. Every person like trafficking
like a dungeon of orphan children.
Every person that's trafficking people is secretly misunderstood and is just trying to give these people a better life, which is not the fucking case. Every drug dealer is just trying to make a quick buck to get through college. Every person who whores themselves out is not a completely drugged out junkie who's being abused. No, they're doing it for themselves because it's empowering and it's a empowering and strengthening thing to do to shove stuff up your pussy for money. It's like, no, it's not the case. There's many shades of fucking gray, and usually it's a pretty dark shade of fucking gray.
Reminds me of that scene.
These people who commit crimes, they're usually bad people. Shock horror.
Yeah, it reminds me of that scene from. Actually, this is my favorite Rambo film. Was the 2008 one where he was in Burma?
Oh yeah.
I really think that's. I know that might not be everybody's favorite, but like that one, I just love. I love the action in it.
It's almost a swan song for like Rambo, like before Last Blood. Last Blood was. I liked Last Blood.
It was like, Last Blood was good, but it's kind of like the epilogue of his character. Yeah. And it was a kind of a different Rambo, where like Rambo 2008 was like the last. Right, I'm stuck in here. Oh. All right, I'm gonna commit seppuku now.
Get that Sudoku board out.
But listen, the point about that movie is, remember that scene on the boat with Rambo and the missionaries, and there's like that piracy, those pirates that show up, and Rambo has the lights off, and then they notice that there's a woman on board, this kind of, attractive blonde woman, and they're like, Kikuka! Kikuka! Like bring her here.
Yeah.
Right? And then what does he do? He knows that it's just gonna. That's the point of no return. He was willing to like deal with them. He was willing to give them money, but the moment that they go Kikuka,
the moment they wanted to take a person,
he pulls out his fucking pistol and blows their fucking heads off. And then that little missionary, the little whiny cunt, says, Rambo says, they would have fucking raped the 50 fucking times before they slit a fucking throat. And that's what, like, Tom Hooman is. He's like the Rambo voice that's, like, actually, yeah, he's this hardened guy, but he's also, like Rambo didn't do that because he's a heartless guy. He did that because
he's seen the ending already. He doesn't need to see it again.
Yeah. He knew what was going to
Yeah.
happen.
Why
He's
take
like,
the
"Nope."
chance of like letting something that may happen when you know what the outcome already is?
And but my greater point was going back to the Hollywood pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the British say pedophiles is pedophiles.
Peter files. What is Peter filing? Where is he filing it under?
Peter, what are you doing?
Peter!
Epstein Island, Peter.
Peter, I'm holding iced tea. Loss, I'm trying to get my cock out of this kid.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He made, you know what, Family Guy, would they be so bold to do that? Probably. I mean, that's a show that I haven't watched.
Honestly, if anything starts to come out about Seth MacFarlane, Brian the dog is going to be real lax about fucking 16-year-olds.
I don't see Seth MacFarlane ever having that issue. If anything, I see Seth MacFarlane having like some weird fetish. Like
I mean, he did make a whole episode about how how Brian was in an explicit relationship with a transvestite. To be fair, though, at oh shit. To be fair, though, at the end of that episode, he did throw up. You dropped out of mine. We dropped out of each other.
Okay.
We both have very loose assholes. We just drop things out.
That would have been another good title. We dropped out of each other. All right, but yeah, that I remember that episode too. That was that Gwen Quagmire's father that crooned out.
Another thing I can appreciate is like when like Brian was trying to like when Brian was trying to like defend like fucking the wheelchair guy Joe. When he was trying to defend his son for deserting, and literally Quagmire's trainee dad like came at him just like, no, he abandoned his brothers in arms, and that's fucked up. And then literally without missing a beat, like Brian snaps back, well, who listens to she-males anyway? Oh man. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane like weirds like kind of fucking he doesn't weird me out like necessarily in like I think he's a creepoid sort of way. He's like just snaky enough like for me to be like, oh, he's got some good jokes, he's got some semi-decent opinions, and then all of a sudden he has like really bad ones back to back, and it's like, wow, this is just getting fucking annoying to listen to.
It's kind of like Bill Maher. Like there's enough there where you don't hate him, but there is definitely some swarminess. Yeah.
Would you shoot? Oh fuck. Collect dynamite from Jafar.
That was a bad idea, Fred.
I don't think gunfighting the volatiles ever works.
Well,
oh shit!
I learned that.
I honestly think they made them stronger, like in a patch, because I remember being able to like kill them pretty effectively before.
They just have like some glitch in there that's tied with the passage of time. Like every day that goes by, the volatiles are like 1% stronger
and 1% bigger.
Before you know it, it's just like an entire game map is shaped like a volatile.
You're just playing on a giant volatile's dick.
Oh.
Hey, we don't stop this outbreak now, it's gonna explode all over this little region right here, right from the tip of Haran.
You know what I was gonna say though? So going back to our earlier conversation, Trump's got RFK for health. He's got Tom Hooman for the border. You know who he needs to clean up Hollywood? We need like a czar of like cleaning up Hollywood. I got the perfect guy for the job.
Are we gonna have a second age of McCarthyism?
Well, no, we're gonna have the first age of Hydeism. We're gonna hire Sam
Hyde. Like Sam Hyde strikes me as a Mr. Menaker guy. He strikes me as like, well, we got to fix things, but don't you dare make me a leader. I will refuse the position.
Mr. Medicare, where instead of like becoming a chain smoker, he just has like several really bad concussions that like fucked up like the part of his brain that controls impulse control.
God damn, like fucking Sam Hyde's already on fucking gorilla steroids.
I love Sam Hyde in some ways, but that motherfucker, I, yeah, he, he, he also like I don't think he's does anything like bad, but he does seem like he's I don't know. He just there's times where I feel like I'm kind of weirded out, and maybe that's part of his character. But
Well, he's supposed to
I
be
don't know.
like severely off-putting, but it's like I get you. Like there are some
But I do
takes that
like him overall.
there are some takes that Sam Hyde has where I'm like, really, that's where you're drawing the line. Like I think Jack told me one day, like for whatever reason, like Sam has like this big thing about getting false teeth, and it's like, yeah, like how, like what about like people who have like fucked up faces and just want to look normal? Is that really too much to like ask? Is that really a problem, Sam? Or are you gonna just be wishy washy about this bullshit?
Well, what Sam really wants is those people to not have their teeth fixed and to show up on his fish tank show. But yeah, he like that's what I mean. He has like usually like I can even if I don't 100% agree with what he's saying, I can track like his rationale.
Yeah.
But then there's times where just like I'm like, wait, what is the fuck is this guy saying?
What are you on about, Sam?
Where like Medicare, there's never been really a time where like I couldn't track what Medicare is doing. I think Medicare, I think is gonna age gracefully, but at the time, like there was times where like his stubbornness on certain things
Yeah.
was almost like, what the fuck, Jim? Like, I know, you're right, but like, come on. Like his like well, even like some of the things he did sort of change on over the years, like saying he had a hate boner about like fucking people that did Patreons and shit, and like, yeah, for the most part, it's kind of
Yeah.
vindicated, but at the same time, it's like,
Well, it's like the
you know,
same people who hate the idea of like making a let's play or streaming video games, and it's like you're stealing from the creators, and well, look how that turned out. The creators
yeah.
fucking hate you. Congratulations. But like
Oh,
even for people who are like who don't fucking hate their player base and are who are all right, like what's the matter with like playing a video game like for other people to watch and like giving them the possibility of like somebody playing like buying the game themselves? That's what happened for me, like watching Shota play DMC all the time. He had the whole collection. I was like, you know what? I never beat any of these games. I'm gonna beat all these fucking games. Helped that they were on a heavy discount, but I
have you
digress.
started playing through them?
Right now I am on mission 14 of 2.
Oh,
Mission
that would've been
14
a
or
great
19.
game. That would have been a great game to play through, but at the same time,
I kind of molded over for a second. I was like, you know what? Once I finish Disco, since I spent my chunk of change for the entire year, I'll probably, since I'm probably not going to be able to get the collection for Dead Rising, and I'm way past the point of no return of getting. Oh, what was the other game I was thinking about getting? Some other game that was topical at the time that I forgot about.
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising, I already said. There was another one.
Oh, yeah. There's another one that I remember, but I don't. I remember you kept saying like, "Oh yeah, I should get that," but yeah. The thing too that like maybe our audience could appreciate is like Fred and I are just kind of doing this for shits and
Yeah.
giggles. Like it would be nice if we do get like a viewership, but like it's not our main drive. It's just to have fun.
If it
But, like,
happens, it happens. But at the end of the day, it's just. It mostly gives me reasons to play video games. It's just because, like, if I don't give myself a reason, I'm so drained after work that I'd rather just like fucking like go to bed or get high.
just go on Faku and have a field day.
That's for when I'm really depressed or really high.
Well, or depressed and high. It's kind of like, what you gonna do? Piss or shit?
No, come.
Oh.
No, it just melts.
It's like the snake electro torture sound effect.
That's another game that I could play for a stream. It just I gotta figure out a way to get is Solid part of the HD collection, Metal Gear Solid?
The new one?
Yeah.
Like the yeah, it is. It's 1, 2, 3, and also the like MSX games from like the 80s. And I would say yeah, get that on Series X. By the way, well actually, you know what, Fred? You bring that up, maybe Santa will deliver you that game. Now that you bring it up,
I gotta figure out a gift for you. Like I said, it's I'll think of something, but it's gonna take some like time and planning.
Just give me some booze.
Get you some booze.
Give me some kind of spirit.
I'll just get you a multi-pack of Ardbeg again. How were those, by the way? Man.
Well, I still have one, I think, that I haven't opened yet because I'm trying to savor it. But
oh yeah.
Actually, maybe I'll crack that open. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a picky guy. But what I was gonna say is like, the fact that we're not doing this like as a full-time gig means like there's games where like I think about streaming them, but at the same time it's like when I stream something, it works really well when I do a stream with Fred because we both can like, play off in one another, which makes it I think more entertaining. Like when I'm doing a stream solo, it has to be something where I have enough that I can keep myself entertained as well as like not feel like I'm like phoning it in for the audience.
Yeah.
Because like these streams all got lost because of my retardation. You remember when I accidentally fucking deleted like 20 of my streams?
Oh God, yeah. I forgot about that for a sec.
One of the games that I like streamed a bunch of was Persona 3, and it's a game I love, but I ended up losing Steam and wanting to stream it because it's such a text-dense game.
Yeah.
That like it actually became like a chore to play because I wanted to read through all the dialogue, that wasn't like narrated, and it's like, unless
not to bring up bad blood, but it's like when we had our falling out and I just couldn't get back into like playing fucking Deadly Premonition. Like I couldn't bring myself to do it. It just
by the way, listen. Can I make a suggestion with that? Because I do have like YouTube downloader software. So what I was thinking of asking you, which I mean we'll just do it on a stream.
I mean, if you want to do whatever like with audio for any of my like streams, you can do whatever. Like I don't care.
Fred and I buried the hatchet a long time ago. We had a little bit of a we both
had a lover's quarrel.
Yeah, I said I can't quit you, Fred.
And then I came back home and my cat saw the note on the fishing line was still where it was.
I mean, actually, the time that we like first like hung out after like a couple of months of being assholes to each other, it was kind of cinematic,
I'm dying. What the fuck? I'm dying so fast.
Me too. I'm dying and there's no light. But yeah, what I was thinking of asking you is. Just because like Game Blather is more of just like a archive at this point, which I still have some like unlisted videos I've been thinking about just like republicing.
Yeah.
Which I don't. As long as you don't mind, but at the same time,
I don't care.
I know we probably have some probably takes that did not age well. And
oh no, like I remember being a dumb like fucking high school kid, like 16 years old, like saying like, yeah, I don't think like Japan having like an age of consent of 16, that's not weird at all. It must not be weird for the Japanese, but now that I'm older, I'm like, maybe that doesn't track, Fred. You're a dumb kid.
Yeah, I mean, just to give people like a concept of our like when we started the Game Blather channel, we were in high school.
Yeah.
We weren't. Neither of us were 18 when we first like started that. I think we were.
Yeah.
I think we started brainstorming
I'm
it
on
like
fire.
16, and then like I think the first video went up when we were 17.
Yeah. It's been a fucking while.
Yeah.
How time
Which I
flies.
still have those videos somewhere in the
It's
abyss.
somewhere in the
Um,
abyss. God, I miss.
yeah, but I miss the past too. But
Yeah,
what I was
I
thinking of
miss the
asking
friends
is,
we lost along the way. I miss the time we lost.
yeah, you know, the thing is, maybe this is a story for if we have any like Zoomers that listen in. It's like try not to like blow up a friendship over
Something
a
stupid.
stupid something stupid. But like sometimes you'll like encounter someone that's ideologically captured, and like I'll admit I don't think I handled that well.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's like with my whatever my tool set and like trying to like help someone that was ideologically captured. I don't think I had that when I was like because I think that was like when I was 18
yeah.
when that falling out happened.
Well, it's like
It's like I don't
you
know if I
never
had the
expect a friend to like basically like out of nowhere like call you like the
your life.
world's woes.
Yeah, which was the part that always got me was too is like you know okay I'm not saying I've had a pretty stable life. Like I haven't had like a lot of disruptions or anything that really, I was never like, I wouldn't say privileged,
Yeah.
but I had a pretty middle class upbringing. Like, I was never, well, if anybody ever saw me, I've never gotten hungry. Let's put it that way. But like, and this was before a lot of us. I don't know. You probably don't want to go down this
Excuse me.
road, but like, Fred, I think you could say like you've gone through the ringer at times in life, and it's like, you know,
I'm still going through the ringer.
yeah, but it's like I hate the word patronizing, but this person that like basically blamed all of society's woes on white people. It's like, well, Fred hasn't had necessarily the Disney princess life that you think all white people have had. That he's had some ups and downs along the way. You know, he's not. I don't think he is. I don't think he's the man in High Castle that you imagine.
Nah, it's
Like
secretly this is all a ploy. You see, I'm living this horrible life so I can turn around and become a despot.
well, no, listen. Let's not. Your life isn't horrible, but like, there was moments where like I was genuinely worried for you. Like, not to dig too much back in the past, but like the time where you can I share one of your previous without giving like too much away? Can I just share one of the horrific jobs you had to do in the past? Which you know what I'm talking about? It was like the most horrific job you've ever had.
Which one?
The one where like it literally broke your body because of how grueling it was.
Oh, the fucking mill.
Yeah, a guy working in a lumber mill might not be the example of white privilege that you're. you know, I don't know how many. I don't know how many
To be
guys
fair, I wasn't working at the lumber mill at the time.
But yeah, that's true. But I could just like, I just wish that I had another conversation with that guy. Maybe A, try to patch things up, and B, like said, like, can you mention this around the time you worked at the lumber mill? Like, just to follow up your comments about white privilege. Fred is. Fred's working at a lumber mill filled with fucking Guatemalans. It's, uh, I don't think
It was
I
the
don't think he's the
most
reason.
bizarre experience to form a friendship without ever speaking a single word like to each other that either of us understood.
Was there just like laughter at the absurdity of it all? Was it just like the
It was twisted and it was a bad job. It was horrible. Like pretty much I
well,
fucking hated that place because pretty much they would like oh god, under the pretense of giving us more privileges and rewards, they gave us oh what would you call it? Like kind of like daily sort of like meal plans, I guess you would say. Like they'd get like a fuck ton of like bagels one day, then a ton of sandwiches another day, and then like they treat us to pizza. And little by little, every last one of us who didn't want to work for like dirt started to realize our pay was going down. So they were basically
oh no.
taking cuts of our paycheck to give us things as a reward That's not a reward. I fucking paid for it. I would rather just have the money back, please.
So this was a Amazon run lumber mill, it sounds like.
This is why I'm so fucking cagey about unionized jobs. Like, any fucking union fucking sucks dick. I don't fucking care where you work. Eventually, you will work for a union, and that union, because of its existence and what it is and its nature, it will fuck you. It will fuck you to death. And once it fucks you to death,
Fred?
it will fuck you even further.
Fred, this is actually a brilliant moment, but I do have to. Can I pause for a second? I have to go upstairs because apparently there's an animal in my fucking backyard, and I have to figure out what the fuck's going on up there.
Shoot it.
Well, listen, I'll be right back. Maybe.
Everybody, listen for the gunshot.
Keep gelling. Keep vibing.
Well, it's like I'll break it down on the fucking union thing because I hate bitching, but it's like I've seen so many people, and like a lot of people who are pro union, like turn completely anti union once they, what, you guessed it, got fucked by their union because they weren't useful anymore, and the union's only existence is to protect the company. It doesn't protect the workers. No fucking siree. The union is only there to protect the interests of the company. The workers can all go and fucking die because they can be replaced. Like, I've seen so many family members, so many friends, like, buy into, like, oh, don't worry, it's a stable job, I'm working for a union, don't worry, I got all these benefits. Well, what happens when you're not useful to the company anymore? Well, they treat you like a fucking soldier who sold, like, 8 years of his life to the U.S. government. Once you're out, we don't fucking care, you're basically dead to us. It's just like, don't fucking trust these things as far as you can throw them. They're not good. Anything that like makes you like a part of a greater whole, aka a collective, is never a fucking good thing. You always get hoarded out because the guy at the top isn't thinking about everybody's best interest. The guy at the top is thinking about their own best interest. Never fucking trust it. There is never going to be a time where an altruistic person ever gains control. And like I say that like being totally ecstatic about the fact that Trump has taken office. I don't think Trump's going to do a bad job. I don't think he's just going to rip off a mask and all of a sudden tear the world asunder. But I am sure he is going to fuck up on something. But you just take it with, like, you take what you can get. It swings and roundabouts. Like, don't get discouraged. Just keep fucking focused. But don't trust, like, blindly the person at the top, because at the end of the day, you're not them. And if you're not them, they're not worried about you. But that's kind of a fucking depressing mindset. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Who fucking cares? I can't talk to Alexa. Hey! Oh, man, what a fucking world we live in. What a fucking weird world. I have a feeling there's going to be a harsh snapback, but, like, Jesus, I just hope it doesn't swing too hard back in the other direction. I just want, like, the fulcrum to just kind of rest for a moment and people, like, accept the fact that maybe we've all been, like, a little bit stupid about a lot of things. But who knows? Look at me, I'm staring at a gray fucking door drinking a beer. I'm stupid. Oh, jeez. Fuck it. Instead of just waiting here, I'm just gonna go out and kill something. Life is a very, very bizarre numbers game. It's like, you almost have to like decode it as you go, because ones don't mean one all the time, and two, maybe they mean two on a Tuesday. Threes always come in threes. You can't stop the rule of three. But as you're trying to fix this fucked up math equation, somebody's always switching the switching the problem and switching the solution. Who fucking knows? Welcome back. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
There you are. Did you mute yourself?
Okay. No, my headset wasn't plugged in all the way.
Oh,
So,
I
you
got
know,
done with my diatribe a while ago.
so when I tell people in my house that I'm streaming, like I'm not like Review Tech USA where I'll ignore like family members asking me because there's an emergency. Like if somebody interrupts me and says there's an emergency, it's legit.
You're not gonna pull a
So luckily,
fucking rape at Ralph and let your mother like die on a highway just because you don't want to go and pick her up.
who did that?
Oh, fucking Ralph.
Oh, Ethan Ralph.
Yeah, didn't he like abandon his mom on a highway or tell her to walk to the
Yeah.
hospital when she wasn't
Whatever.
feeling well?
Yeah, evil piece of shit. I hate his guts. I even like Hassan. I despise him, but I don't hate him on like an atomic level. Ethan Ralph is fucking irredeemable.
Ethan Ralph is vile, but Hassan Piker's insidious. I hate that motherfucker just as much as Ethan Ralph.
I hate them both, but see, we have like different hate. We have like we have different ticks that we hate.
I hate charlatans and hypocrites.
You do because you're a stubborn prick.
Well, thanks.
Let me tell.
I'll just go and fuck myself through this wall.
And I'm an overly verbose asshole
Yes.
who sometimes talks to the point of nauseum. But yeah, I can roast myself. So I go up there, the dog's barking crazily, and there's some type of mammal laying out there by the neighbor's gap in between the fence where like a rabbit can squeeze through, which I don't mind because it lets the rabbits escape from my brutal fucking dog ripping it to shreds. You know? So I can't see what's out there, and I'm like, I need to go out there and like at least stand on the deck. And I'm like, well, if it's something that's rabid, because like I'm very smart. If there's an animal that's laying out there and it's fucking something I shouldn't touch, I'll just call the fucking animal control.
Yeah.
So then I take my phone's camera out because it's got better zoom than my vision can fucking see shit.
Uh-huh.
You know what it is, Fred? It's a possum playing dead.
Nice.
And as soon as I walk towards the end of the deck, it crawls back under the fence over to the neighbors. And I'm like,
whoa,
what the? I don't know. Like, I let the family member know. I'm like, by the way, I know they look creepy possums, but they're like, they're actually a natural, like, natural tick killer. They're one of the few mammals that like actively.
Oh no, they're
the fuck out of.
They're a semi-decent animal.
No, they're actually ecologically very good, and also they're one of the very few mammal species that it nearly never gets rabies. So
that's
like,
actually
my
amazing.
concern is like, well, it's because their body temperature. This is the interesting thing about them. They have one of the lowest body temperatures of any mammal. So their body temperature is so low that the rabies virus can't survive.
Nice.
Which is pretty gnarly. Because like there's actually like where we live in our part of New York, there's actually like pretty dangerous amount of like fucking rabid animals that you'll see in the news. Like last year, multiple people got bit by a rabid fox, and one guy like literally waited till like the last moment till he finally went into the hospital to get the shot.
Jesus.
Like, if that motherfucker waited 1 or 2 days more, he would have been a death sentence. It would have killed him.
Yeah.
Like, in a very grueling way.
Well,
So,
yeah, that's fucking like
no return.
Funny story. Speaking of rabies.
Yeah.
Oh God, do you ever remember the first time you ever saw Old Yeller?
Yeah, Fred, I remember. Thanks for depressing me.
Well, no, I'm not bringing it up because it's depressing, but like I remember like the first time I saw Old Yeller. I want to say it was like I was in my teens. I want to say I was probably like 12 or 13. Like not quite like getting to be an adult. Still dumb kid brain, hormones raging through my body. And like I had never seen Old Yeller before. I had never even known like what the ending of Old Yeller was. Basically, as I was watching it, like the moment I realized Old Yeller was fucked and he was gonna die, like I just burst into fucking like fucking child tears. And it's just like and like to save me or something. Like my sisters and mother tried to like restrain me and turn off the TV, and I was like, no, I gotta see it. I gotta see it 3D. I fucking clawed myself away to turn the TV back on, and right as the TV came back on, the little boy shot Old Yeller in the face. And, like, just this wash of calm and like depression came over me, and it's just like it's probably one of the most like weird, sad, but also amusing like moments of my life. The first time I watched Old Yeller, because it's just a surreal look. Like my fucking like my family's trying to save my feelings, but the man in me can't let the reality slip away.
You had to suffer.
It was necessary. I grew as a person.
Yeah, that's
and now I love every animal incomplicitly.
Yeah. I'm just glad it was a possum though, because actually when I had my other dog was still alive, there was like a fucking chipmunk that would like bother the fuck out of him.
Was it like a normal chipmunk though?
Yeah.
So it's just annoying.
Oh no, it wasn't a chipmunk. It was a groundhog. I'm sorry.
Nice.
It was a fat groundhog. And one time, and this was my other dog that was like, my current dog is like a fucking killing machine when it comes to like small animals. The other dog was more of he was very French. Like if you remember, he basically was like, he was more of a lovemaker than a killer.
It's the Romero Memorial.
Oh yeah, but like, so what I'm saying is my other dog was like a very kind-hearted dog, and I love my current dog, but my other dog was just very gentle, but also incredibly perverted.
Yes.
But he's French.
He liked to fuck everything, and also they like to fuck each other.
Yeah. But yeah, and they like to burn down their government every few years, which at least I can empathize with, you know.
I mean, if the French start setting up guillotines again, I might actually get a little respect for them for once.
Yeah, it would be nice. But my point is, there's two like Pokemon battles that my previous dog had. The first one was like with a snake.
Oh.
It was like coiled up in the backyard, and this was like when I was still like a teenager.
Yeah.
So my dog was only a few years old, and like it hissed at him, and it was like coiled, but it lifted up its head and hissed at him, and then he like bit it, and then it slithered away. And the other time was with this fucking groundhog. It annoyed the fuck out of him. So like they would like have like, it was almost like at times where like we'd have to like keep him inside because it would just like annoy him. So then the one time he picked it up and shook it and threw it against the fence, and then it finally stopped coming over under the fence, which we then patched the fence in.
Nice.
The problem was it was like, yeah, the problem was like it would dig under, so like, but then we patched it and like it harder for anything to dig under back area until that fucking tree collapsed, which actually I think you helped me put up some of those fence boards.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, you know, speaking of, you know, once again, that Luigi guy, you know, destroyed any purpose he had, like in killing the insurance guy, but like, you know,
I need to see solid proof to know it's actually him who did it. But like, if he is the fucking asshole who did it, like people seem to, for whatever reason, make the mistake that anybody criticizing the fucking murderer secretly really like excused all the misdeeds of the CEO, or like anybody like saying, I'm not gonna shed any tears about the CEO, is secretly on the side of the killer. And it's like, no, motherfucker. Like, they're not conflicting ideas to hold to say murder's fucking bad, but the asshole had it coming to him. Like,
Yeah.
fuck the assassin
that's
and
sort of
fuck
my-
the CEO. Fuck them both. They're both bad people. Bad people take each other out, but eventually, if bad people keep taking each other out, good people get caught in the crossfire. It always fucking happens.
I completely agree with your assessment. I will say that there's elements, and I look at once again, murder's bad. There's elements of this story though that
Murder's bad.
that are
Okay.
there's elements of the story though
too.
that are like I think unavoidably humorous, like the guy fucking being named Luigi, you know, the fucking the all of the like dearth of information that's like being unfolded, but also like the one thing that like once again I think that the people that I out of all the times where people have like done that shit, like this is the most where I could at least have like an understanding of why they're saying that, even though I don't like it. But like the problem that I have with the media is the media doesn't even like once again bad guy and people that are like supporting him are stupid at best or just completely misguided. But
well, they're LARPing that like this is a victory, like this is a big old like commie victory. We killed a millionaire, guys. No, he killed a millionaire. You didn't do shit.
But yeah, I agree. The thing that annoys me though is the media doesn't even like stop for a second to think about why that reaction is so pervasive, and part of it is because we have a fucking damaged society.
Oh yeah.
But with this specific story, and this is one my one takeaway is like, legitimately people absolutely detest the healthcare system in this country, and once again the guy.
They actually detest like two things in this country. They detest like people have officially like detested that the healthcare system's been an issue for years, but people are so sick and tired of the wealthy as well. Like people are so tired of the people in Hollywood. People are so tired of the billionaires who keep turning out to be bad people.
Well, it's specifically the gilded wealthy that have no understanding of like the common man's struggles. Yeah, which unfortunately is the majority of the ones that are in the media and like in positions of power. 100%. And it's like, you know, this is tying back to the fence damage story. It's like anybody that's ever had to deal with an insurance company, be it for health, which I have to imagine has got to be the worst.
Oh, trust me, I've had to deal with that a lot. They don't pay for fucking shit.
Well, yeah, the fence. This ties back to the fence story though, because when the tree that was the neighbors destroyed part of my back fence, the insurance company estimated the damage was $1,008, and guess how much the insurance deductible was? $1,000. So we would have paid $1,000 to get an $8 payout.
Yep.
It's like, what a sick group of motherfuckers, and it's like.
Well, insurance is the biggest scam in the world because the assumption is you pay for insurance. So in the case of an emergency when you would need it, the insurance is going to foot a good amount of the bill for these expensive like procedures you'd have to go through, whether it's like construction or medical. Like the idea is you're paying for this insurance to insure yourself in the case of an emergency. Well, the problem is all these insurance companies are marked up the fucking wazoo with exorbitant prices. And because of that, medical fields and automotive fields and construction fields see that and they're like, well, we might as well jack our prices up too. And then the fucking both sides keep fucking skyrocketing to the point where it's just like, oh no, you're just paying for everything now. You got to pay a bare minimum of like $1 million for us to give you anything for free. Great. Why am I fucking paying you then?
Well, and the problem too is like, there's not a lot of reasonable people when it comes to discussing the problems with our healthcare system, because if you talk to like people on the right about the fact that like there's countries that do have like a baseline healthcare system that doesn't leave people in crippling debt, they accuse you of being a socialist.
Yeah.
But if you go to people on the left and say like, well, there is actually a purpose for people having private healthcare options, they'll say you're, you know, basically supporting the insurance companies. It's like, well, there is actually a solution that's somewhere in the middle, especially like, you know what's a society that has like a baseline healthcare system, but also allows for people to have their own private options is Japan.
Mhm.
But you know why that works, Fred? It's a high trust society.
Yeah.
It's a society where the majority of people work. The only time that people aren't working is because they legitimately have a reason that prevents
Yeah.
them from contributing to society.
Well,
And it's also a society where-
imagine like imagine being able to take a sick day and not have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Then again, there
yeah,
on the inverse, just to play devil's advocate, Japan does have a lousy fucking issue with black companies who literally work you to fucking death and then they criticize you for dying.
yeah.
So nobody has the perfect answer because there's always assholes who are going to exploit it.
Yeah, but there's something to be said about the way we do things where someone's anesthesia bill, which like someone's anesthesia runs out because the insurance
Yeah.
company won't pay for anymore.
Well,
Like, oh yeah, we're halfway through the heart transplant, but we're not going to pay for any more of their anesthesia.
yeah. Well, how many times
$1,000 bill?
how many times has it happened where a billionaire has bought out like a very important drug for a certain thing and jacked the price up? And then you imagine like that guy got busted for that. Well, how many times has it happened besides the fact that we didn't hear about? It just makes you fucking wonder.
Yeah, like what's his name, Martin Shkreli?
Yeah, that motherfucker. He took what was it, a diabetes treatment or something?
Yeah, insulin that was like for especially for like for childhood diabetes,
Yeah.
you know, like the type that's like beyond
He
their
jacked up the
control.
fucking
Like,
price.
and I'm sorry, these people that were like enjoying him and calling him based because he'd say like some red pilled shit. I'm like, I don't care. That guy's
He's a fucking piece of shit. Don't why do people keep gravitating towards it's the get rich quick motherfuckers, isn't it? Like they always gravitate towards the Andrew Tates, the Logan Pauls, the Martin Scorelis. He said some base stuff. No, he's an asshole and he's acting like an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, the thing too is like
I had another thing that I
That's like-
wanted to talk about, but I completely forgot what it was.
let me just say one more thing. Maybe it'll jog your memory. I'm generally the limited government guy, but like, there are needed regulations
Yeah.
every now and then. You know, like otherwise we'll have like Upton Sinclair's The Jungle, where like in the food processing plants of the early 1900s, people were grinding up rats and rusty screws. Like, there's some level of regulation that's needed and like some level of centralized control, but it's like it needs to be very select. But like in my opinion, like making sure that people, at the very least, if someone has like a life-altering accident, they should be able to like wipe that out with a bankruptcy, like the debt from that.
Yeah.
You know, because, and I don't think that should be the case for like student loan debt, because like that, I'm sorry, like I know that like they take advantage of like 18-year-olds with the fucking ridiculous college fees.
Yeah.
But you should make other people pay for that. You know, and I do have a solution. You should make the colleges pay for it. Make them pay off their endowments with their overpriced tuition. Make them responsible for the system they created and watch them all go bankrupt.
Well, I'm actually waiting for like the moment where Ivy League colleges like just start shutting down. Like it would legit like give me like warm and fuzzy feelings just to hear in the news one day, oh, Harvard University is shuttering its doors for good.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you're someone that's actually like looking at colleges, you're so much better off going to like a public college, because A, they have to like uphold your First Amendment rights, and you can sue them if they don't. Where like private schools, like Ivy League schools, don't. They could say that they'll uphold your First Amendment rights, but they legally aren't obligated to.
Yeah.
But if you go to like a public, like a state college, they're way cheaper, and it's way easier to transfer to a different school. And like, if you're not even like that sure about college, just go to community college and take a couple of classes, because like those are literally like how much colleges should cost.
Like
you can literally get a degree.
Let me say something very, very, very important.
Yeah.
Have a clue what you want to do. Get an idea what you want to go. Well, yeah. Get an idea for what you want to go to college for. Never go undecided, because that is a money pit. By the time you figure out what you actually want to do, you're out of money.
Yeah.
think real long and hard about what you want to do. And I'm not saying like pick it and if you hate it, stick with it. No, like my sister, she actually went to college to be an anthropologist, but then like when she realized it wasn't exactly what she was looking for, she course corrected a little bit and became an archaeologist.
Okay, I'm gonna shut it off.
Oh no, she'll actually get on your case about that. Indiana Jones is a grave robber. It's a fun movie.
There's a line in when I played that game yesterday on stream, and I was so in support of what Indiana Jones was saying though, because like, yeah, okay, he robbed graves, but it's like actually I made a joke about that because like the criticism of like the British Museum stealing shit, like I can understand, but at the same time I also agree with the argument that like those things would have literally have been lost to time if it wasn't for like the British stealing them and preserving them. But then my joke I made was like, that's no longer the case though, because the people in those countries that wanted to destroy those artifacts are now being imported into England. It's like, yeah, we've let ISIS into our country. The people that destroyed those like Babylonian artifacts. I don't know if you know this, but they destroyed.
Yeah, I know. Like, honestly, I wish I could just watch the fucking skin get stripped off their fucking feet and have them walk through the desert.
Oh, but don't worry. I'm sure it's all going to work out in Syria, where we got rid of an asshole and now it's just pure chaos. Like, Assad was not a good human being. He was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, well, he's not dead. People thought he's dead, but he escaped to Russia. But still, point being is like, you know, the people that are going to take over are most likely going to be like ISIS adjacent. And Syria is one of the few remaining Middle Eastern countries that have like original Christians. Like I'm talking like they still speak Aramaic, which is the language of Christ.
Really?
And it is going to be, and I am not an interventionist, but it is going to be so depressing to watch those people have their remaining strongholds destroyed. People that just want to be left alone and practice their Christian faith.
Yeah.
It is going to be so sad to watch that.
Well, it's like unfortunately, I'm so jaded with like the Middle East at this point that like I stopped giving a fuck forever ago. It's like that place has been a lost cause since we were in middle school. Like, so I'm just tired of thinking of it.
It's not something to think about really, but like, you know, if you do happen to like run into like a footage of someone getting skinned alive, it's like you can't help but have like some basic human.
Well, it's like I saw like a fucking bunch of like fucking a bunch of Muslim terrorists like having a bunch of Christians up against a wall with their boots on their throat, and as soon as that video feed cut, I was like, yep, they're all dead. And I'm like, there's nothing useful out there. The fucking desert is full of a bunch of fucking animalistic tribes people who would be better off glassed off the face of the earth, but maybe that's an extreme opinion.
If there was one sign that like Christianity is probably the actual like,
I don't care if you're Christian or not, just don't fucking kill people. Like, don't force your will upon other people.
But you know, I'm someone that thinks that probably all religions point to something. Like, but you know, if there's any evidence that Christianity is maybe more accurate, it's the fact that like Constantine had that vision of the crucifix and then converted to Christianity. Because like, if that had not happened, you know, would Christianity have spread the way it did? Because that was a religion that was being heavily persecuted by the Romans, and you know, it almost seems it's almost like the Trump like dodging a bullet. It almost seems like
it was fated to happen.
It was fated. It was almost impossible for that to happen, but it did. Which that also happens in other religions. Like I'd say Buddhism, like a lot of the elements of Buddha's life were kind of like, because you know he was like a very privileged like prince, and then he saw the suffering of the world, right? Which is, I think Buddhism probably has the closest element to Christianity of like those are, even if you're not a religious person, I'd say that those two religions both have the best understanding of what the suffering of life is, more than, you know, Like Islam's more. No offense, there's
Well,
good Muslims
well,
out there, but some
it's the
Islam's more taking something
persecution.
that's causing it.
It's the persecution without like all the like obsession over victimhood. Now, I'm not saying that every Christian's like altruistic or like has never like
No.
been guilty
There's
of
been
like playing
plenty
the victim.
of bad Christians.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, like how many times have you heard about like some Muslim guy like honor killing like his sister like because some guy looked at her ass a little bit too long, or like that
Yeah.
some like shisty Jewish guy like embezzled a shit ton of money, fucking over every last friend he had. And it's like, well, I'm on top in the end, so that means I'm good and great, and they weren't Jews.
It's a beautiful impersonation of what's his name from Family Guy.
Oh God, I
Mort.
oh yeah, it would be Mort. Well, that's literally the stereotypical Jew, other than Seth MacFarlane himself.
Oh man.
Am I about to get
Yeah.
shot? Brian the dog is
This
gonna.
is my son.
Brian the dog is gonna show up in my house and it's just like, you,
The rest of his group
This
know
is
it.
my
You
son.
know what
We've
needs
been
happen.
monitoring your
themselves.
We've been monitoring your comments, Deadwood 2012. You must stop with your comments. We know where you are.
Bite my dick. Come and get me, asshole.
Looks like they eventually
This is
I fucking
Uh,
dare you to
it's
Charlie
a-
Hebdo my ass. I'll be waiting.
It's actually going to be Sasha Baron Cohen's Mossad agent character from that show he did.
Oh, fuck. I don't even know who you're talking about.
It was like a show he did after Borat. It was kind of like where he was in that phase of like selling out, but like he still had a little bit of his like
Yeah.
his zeal. Because like my problem with the second Borat film was like they went to he stayed with those like those guys were a little bit nutty, but like they were welcoming him into his house during COVID, and it's like he just completely shit on them, and it's like I know that's part of the film, but like
I mean, honestly though, it was like I think at a certain point they were in on the bit. Like, cause it's just a bunch of fucking good old boys in the woods, like getting fucking drunk, and you have this Hollywood actor just like, hey, I'm just gonna like live in your house and play this like really weird actor. I'm probably gonna be in my underwear the whole time. Don't worry if I have a boner. I'm not attracted to you or anything.
my kind of problem though with like that film is that it was very heavy-handed,
It told you what like political leaning it had.
yeah. But it was to a degree where it's like, there's so much like even Bill Maher is taking advantage of like his own side going crazy and made like sort of a resurgence and making fun of it. And it's like you couldn't like go to like a feminist college or something as Borat or one of your characters and just point out the absurdity of that, because like that's
well, no, because that's the wrong politics.
Well, there's also Amazon that was funny in that film, so
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't. Since they almost Amazon, your days are numbered as a company, but like I will at least indulge the Prime Video because they are keeping Clarkson's Farm. They were gonna cancel it because he said that Meghan Markle was a cunt.
She is.
She is. Well, he didn't say that exactly, but he said that in so many words, which is true. He wasn't lying, but like, they are keeping the show, and I'm gonna be excited to see the next season
Yeah.
because like that man, I don't know if you know that, but he had a heart attack. He had like a heart blockage that could have been a fatal heart attack, and
I'm
like
happy that's kind of like what happened to my dad. Like he just goes into the doctor's one day and he's like, I something's wrong, I can tell. And they kept sending him back like there's nothing fucking wrong with me. It's like, put me in a fucking MRI. Because if I die, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then they put him in they put him in an MRI machine. His heart was almost nearly 90% blocked. He had to get a quintuple bypass, and now he kicks my ass at the gym.
that man is like the indomitable human spirit.
He is the $1 million man. He is bionic at this point.
Like we went to a fucking all-day rockathon, And like, I'm not the epitome of physical shape, but like I think I did pretty good for myself. But I had to like sit every so often just because I'm a fucking fat ass, Like I just had, and like it became a little bit ridiculous at the end, but that's because my back was giving
Yeah.
out, and I was there standing for like 9
Well,
hours.
like I
And even
like
you were kind of
pretty much by like the third band, I had like worn my legs out to the point where it's like anytime I tried to bounce, like I just impotently just hopped, and I was like, I can't do this, but I must.
even you, like, and you've got a pretty good, like, you've got some stamina to you, because, like, when we used to work out, like, Fred would be, like, his feet were, like, slapping the treadmill, the pace he was traveling at. It almost sounded like a hardcore porno. It was impressive.
Ow.
I mean that in a very complimentary way. It was very impressive. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, this man is,
Those are
this man is
volatiles.
going to be, he's going to be swole, as the fucking Zoomers might say. But
I gotta actually like I actually gotta start like getting back to the gym. I've been going on occasion, but like I gotta get back full time. Like,
but I could tell even you by the end of the night was like, fairly tired or at least sore. But your fucking dad, just he was like, it was like, that phrase Stonewall. Like he looks like there could have been like another 2 hours of concerts and he wouldn't have fucking batted an eye. He would have just stood there with the fucking. It was almost like a Buddhist monk standing under a waterfall.
just taking the torrential downpour full force.
You know what? You know what he needs for his
Ow!
for his gift
We're gonna blow up.
for me? We're gonna get him some cast strength. We're gonna get him some cast strength whiskey.
Honestly,
we're gonna get.
Not a bad idea.
No good. It's not working.
I'm dead again because I'm retarded. Yeah, but I'm glad the thing with like doctors is sometimes you literally have to you literally have to yell at them
Well, it's like,
for them to listen.
I know, but it's like it's fucking annoying. Like when you spend so much money on these retards and they still for whatever reason can't explain to you like what's wrong with you. Like you remember that thing I had on my fucking chin for a while? They were like, oh, it's just a mutation of strep throat virus, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
You remember the debilitating sickness I had for like 4 months where like I could barely get out of bed?
Yeah.
Like, oh, and I finally got a doctor that like said, well, it could be I hate this term because it's abused by people that are just like bullshit artists, but like it could be long COVID.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't want to really say the other truth. It was probably from the fucking vaccine causing, and then like getting COVID with the stupid vaccine probably caused like some kind of storm in my body.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I did some research on like what people are taking, I found this thing called Supernac and started taking that back in like after like that was during month 3, and that was like the thing that caused me to bounce back.
Mm.
And you remember that's like there was like a marked shift in like my mental state and like my like bouncing back to normal is because of that supplement. Because that supplement basically targets. This is very technical, but I'll make it simple as I can. There's like the fucking proteins that the virus as well as the vaccine like leaves to linger in your body,
Yeah.
and it literally if you don't clear it out, it'll take years for your body to clear them out. And like it builds up and causes all kinds of problems if you have like a reaction to either of those things. So this supplement is the only thing that like clears those up. It basically is like, the game Asteroids, where like you
Yeah.
shoot the asteroids and they get smaller and smaller until they're nothing. That's what this does to the fucking virus. Which like, doesn't that show that virus was fucking made in a lab?
Yeah.
If you have to find some kind of like bizarre supplement that like somehow tears it apart, because like that's not a normal thing. That's not a. I'm dead.
I can save you.
Revive me. Mayday, mayday! My ship is slowly sinking.
Die! Why won't you die?
You got 15 seconds. All right, great work, Fred.
All right, let's set this bomb and then go bug that
If
plane.
you didn't save me, I would have sung the entirety of Starset My Demons.
And then I would kill us both with this giant bomb.
Giant bomb. Remember that? Remember that review site Giant Bomb that turned out to have a bunch of fucking retards working for him?
Well, that's unfortunately everything in gaming. Like so many different like good things from the past got co-opted by assholes.
Alright, the tunnel's now passable.
Like Adam Setzler turned out to be the biggest fucking snake in the grass from G4.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine with you doxing
You know what?
people if you don't agree with them.
The one thing looking back on G4 that pisses me off, even with all the fuck ups they did with like relaunching it, I sometimes I still just out of nostalgia will go back to like old G4 clips.
Because they're legit
Even with all
funny.
the-
They're legit good from what I
But
hear.
the one thing that they did that fucking pissed me off even back then was like how they sort of like disproportionately would shit on Japanese games, which is
Yeah.
like, kind of the norm at that point. But it's like you think they would have known better, but like then again, after seeing what Adam Sessler has become, maybe not, you know. But I feel like he was like a reasonable human being at one point that just slowly, I don't know if he mentally unraveled or just like.
Oh, he definitely lost his mind.
unraveled.
Oh, jeez.
How did I die?
Don't watch my stream. You'll never know.
I gotta sync my audio, Fred. I'm gonna use this. What are we? An hour and 40 minutes in. I'm gonna fucking. I'm gonna check that.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, alright. Okay.
Let's just say there was a
There's only
hypothetical spot of oil on the ground, and as I was shooting the yellow guy, I hit it, and you burned to death.
Well, they made him yellow just like modern video games have everything yellow that you need to like investigate.
Why is everybody so fucking just cracked out on yellow paint all of a sudden? Oh, yellow paint shows you where to go. So fucking what? You dumbasses couldn't figure that out with
Oh.
both hands on a fucking map anyway.
Oh, but it's, you know what, Fred? I heard from one of the people that doesn't like the Indiana Jones game. It's that it's, oh, what the fuck? You're playing alone. Your last checkpoint would be so.
Oh, did you get
I got
booted?
kicked.
God damn it. I murdered you out of existence.
But I legitimately saw people complaining that the new Indiana Jones game doesn't hold your hand with the puzzles. Like you literally have to do trial and error if you can't figure out the fucking hints. And it's like, but that was
That's
like,
called a puzzle.
yeah. But it's like that's once again that's my problem with the game. They marketed it to like the Uncharted, and I like Uncharted, but they marketed it to the people that think Uncharted's like the peak of like gaming, which is like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Uncharted's a bad series, but it's like the people that like can't handle anything complex in like a game where you have to actually think.
Yeah.
You know, it's just pull the trigger. And Uncharted actually has some moments where you do have to think, but like my point is like they try to market the game as like an Uncharted action adventure game when it's like more, it's like literally it's more of a Dishonored fucking like it's more of like Dishonored with an Indiana Jones paint job than it is a fucking
Yeah.
Uncharted clone. Like, and that's part of my annoyance with like how it switches in the third person during like the few times where you actually have to like climb up shit.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you do it quite a bit, but like that makes it look like it's an action game. It's not. If you go into that game thinking it's an action game, you're going to be sorely disappointed. It does have decent shooter mechanics, but it's like it's not an action game. It's like okay, like take Cyberpunk or take like think like
God damn it.
take, like Cyberpunk. I think that's working. But you know, like Cyberpunk is like maybe 70-80% combat and then 20% like, you know, immersion sim, right? That's it. Fair ratio. What the fuck? Ah, where the fuck? What the fuck?
Where are you? Are you in my game?
I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit Dying Light and Reloaded because it's being fucking retarded.
Okay. I'll send you another invite.
Wait a second. Let me let. Oh, you sent it. I don't know if it's gonna open. Okay, I'm pressing it. There we go. Okay. All right. Please work. I wanted to get through one more mission.
We're so close to talking with Kurt again.
Have you seen the story about drones in New Jersey?
like, like, like,
There's like a bunch of like large drones flying over New Jersey, and people are fucking weirded out by it, which I can understand.
oh, like actual like military drones, like UAVs.
Yeah, but they're not our military, I guess, allegedly.
They're Chinese.
Wow. Don't worry, Joe Biden will wait till they're already surveilled the entire country before shooting them down.
Is it really that paranoid anymore? Like to think that one of the largest fucking places on the map besides Russia might not have the best of intentions towards the rest of the world?
Yeah.
Like, is it really that paranoid? Are people really that fucking stupid that we've forgotten about this shit?
That's true, but also you have to also like remember that there's unsavory people that deliberately want to get us in a war with China
Yeah.
at the same time. Like, which would not like there would not be any victors from that war, other than like the elites that are in a bunker at the underneath the Denver airport. Everybody else it'd be just pure suffering.
Yeah.
No, but I get your point. Like, China should be treated at best as like a frenemy, and that's like very, very loose sense of friend. Like that's what Trump I think did very well with Xi Jinping before they released COVID.
Yeah.
Like he kept our trade relations with China like where they needed to be, but he also wasn't.
Well, he wasn't bending over backwards to give them every fucking concession in the books.
Yeah, he also I think was the first president that realized that China is never going to become a democracy, at least for the foreseeable future, unless the people of China like overthrow their fucking, their government. But like, like Obama's like China will become a democracy when they embrace capitalism. No, they're embracing corporatism, which is it's a bastardization of capitalism.
Yeah.
Like when these retard leftists can criticize capitalism, they're actually criticizing corporatism, which is like a specific strain of capitalism, sort of like neoliberalism is like a specific strain of liberalism. It's like these are monopolies that are not actually they're actually using the regulatory powers of our government to basically ensure that they stay as number one. Real capitalism, like if we didn't have the type of regulations, do you think a company like Disney would be able to survive in like a truly capitalistic society?
Honestly, like it upsets me that we've bailed out the fucking Disney machine more than once at this point.
Yeah.
It's an American company. It has a lot of history. No, fuck it. It deserves to go under.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And I say this. The history that it has deserves to be like bought up at auction by people that actually might give a shit about it.
Just to be pompous and pretentious for a second, Disney is like the ship of Theseus. Is it really the same ship anymore when you have literally swapped every part in every fucking sailor on board? No.
Yeah.
So is it really Disney anymore? No.
No, it's not. It's not Disney as such. But the sad thing is like the hollowed out husk has like the IPs that like could have been in better hands, like cherished and preserved.
Yeah.
Star Wars, for instance. What they're probably gonna end up killing with Marvel. I mean, Marvel's kind of finished, other than like the occasional Deadpool or Spider-Man film. I don't really see. Much more appeal.
They're already talking about bringing back like Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. as fucking as fucking like the characters they said, oh, we'll never play those characters again. They're done.
Yeah.
Really stuck to those guns.
Aren't they also bringing Robert Downey Jr. back as like Doctor Doom?
Apparently.
Right?
The man can't escape a good paycheck, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that does sound at least somewhat interesting. I don't
know. Like I said, I'm too cynical about this shit these days.
Well, you are cynical, but like it's understandable. But like
I'm just tired. I'm officially at the point where I'm tired of seeing everybody spin their fucking wheels. I just want to see something new.
Well, the problem is too. It's like they had the fucking Doctor Strange madness, what is multiverse of madness? It's
Yeah.
like it seemed like they had a germ of a good idea with like the Fantastic Four and like the that one universe.
Well, it's like they gave a movie to
Shit.
Sam Raimi and then didn't let him do his thing, which is the same
Yeah, like
thing that happened with fucking Spider-Man 3. And like at least some people are lukewarm on that movie. I don't know a lot of people who have a great opinion about Multiverse of Madness. Like mostly they said, "Oh, the body
Yeah.
horror was pretty good."
well, the one thing that like when they did actually allow Sam Raimi to do like his cinematography, that was like the one
Yeah.
part of the film that like
Like
kept
there
me
was a
from
lot of
turning it
stuff that
off.
like kept reminding me of what is it? Drag Me to Hell.
And by the way, if there was like a prior to Deadpool like getting a fucking finally like an MCU film that's rated R, that would have been like the one movie where they should have let it be a rated R film. Like it would have had so much more like like that was a film that needed to be rated R, and like it's clear that they wanted Sam Raimi to play it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's like another
like
movie
they
that needed to be
wanted.
rated R. The fucking Venom movies. Like they were so
Yeah.
hamstrung because they were not willing to let Eddie Brock and Venom be fucking brutal.
Well, it's like they didn't even push the envelope. Like what movie sort of pushed the envelope with a PG-13 rating was the Batman film from 2022.
Yeah.
And that was more so just through like sort of like expert cuts in the scenes, because like if they turned the blur off a couple of the moments in that film, there's no way it would have been rated PG-13.
Yeah.
Like that, like I
Well,
can't
it's like
remember seeing
just the
anything
way
film.
in some like scenes where like Riddler just like hits somebody in the back of the head with a hammer and then just slowly starts
Yeah.
taping them up. It's just it sends a chill up my spine.
Yeah. But it would have been really something to see if that film could have been like rated R, because like that's the one thing that the Penguin really does well is like hearing Oswald Cobblepot swear like that incarnation of the Penguin would,
Yeah.
like it brings a joy to my heart. And also the crazy chick in that fucking series. Woo.
I haven't watched The Penguin yet, so
Yeah, I won't say too much.
Yeah.
Because that's a show that I don't want you to have spoiled. I want you to actually enjoy it if you get the chance. But like they did a great. There's not a there's no. It's a show that feels completely devoid of like DEI expectations. It doesn't feel like they shoehorned anybody into the plot. You know,
yeah. Plus,
other than one scene where the Penguin walks by a transvestite prostitute. But it is Gotham. I feel like that does kind of make sense given the degeneracy of that city. Like I don't know if they did that to like get their one DEI paycheck, but like it sort of makes sense like given that universe too.
well,
You know,
plus another thing that really helps is Colin. Sorry, brain farted for a second.
Daryl.
Yeah, thank you. We're on a first name basis, me and him. Colin
Yeah.
Farrell, like for all intents and purposes, he's probably one of my favorite actors that I don't get to see him in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's a super weird feeling because I love Colin Farrell. Like I loved him ever since I like saw him as a like Billy Badass cool guy in the SWAT movie from years ago. If you want to talk about an underrated gem, oh god, Michelle Rodriguez, LL Cool J, Samuel L. Jackson, Colin Farrell. The fucking SWAT movie, I love it.
Admit it, Fred. It's the Irish accent. It enthralls
He
you.
actually doesn't put on an Irish accent in that movie. I'm pretty sure he's trying to be like Boston.
It is kind of funny. Like most of the movies he's memorable for, he has no faint even like sign that he's Irish. But like, there's that one film that Guy Ritchie did that was pretty good. That he had like an Irish accent in though. That was really fun.
Which one you talking about?
It was like a couple of years ago. I just remember the scene where he beats the shit out of like the young punks in the fish and chip shop or whatever.
I've never seen that one. I remember Seven Psychopaths. He has his actual accent in it. You remember that one?
Yeah.
That one was probably my first like dark comedy because like I remember that movie like just confused me more often than not because like in between like all of this like funny stuff happening, and, like these weird avant-garde, like bizarre cutaway gags. Like you just have like these moments that are genuinely fucking harrowing and terrifying. Like like after a joke of like this one like literal moron like serial killer guy who is like Colin Farrell's best friend in the movie, like goes through like an entire story that he wrote up. Like, I got a script. Here's my script. Like, I go out and blaze a glory.
Can we stop at a safe house on the way to the next quest and like, we'll at least get like to the point where we can wrap this up because I didn't realize it was over after 10 p.m.
Oh shit! Fuck yeah! I should probably be getting to bed.
I thought it was like 9:30. I'm like,
It feels like ow.
Well, this went by quick.
All right.
Other than my fucking.
Let's stop at this
Worried
one
about it
closest to us. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but no, I do think like you're saying.
Oh yeah, like just to finish my thought, like yeah, like this retard's like giving him this like dramatic but like schlocky story like that he has thought up, and then like literally a moment like after that it goes into like how like like a murder man like got tracked down by a dude who like he accidentally killed his, I forget if it was on purpose or accidentally, but he ended up killing this guy's wife. So the guy tracks him down and like stalks him like to the point where he's like paranoid. So the guy like slits his own throat, and through the window, the guy watching him like he looks at him with this like look of understanding, and then he slits his own throat. As a kid, I was like, what's going on?
Oh, you know what movie was crazy for me to watch as like a little kid?
Punisher.
Well, that was like, I was at least 8 years old then. Like, I
Yeah.
remember like staying up late at night when I was like a kindergartner, and I couldn't remember what the movie was. But then I realized it was the fucking Jackal film with Bruce Willis.
I've never seen that one.
Oh, but I still remember the scene where he fucking shoots off Jack Black's arm. Then at that point, my mom had to turn off the TV.
Jeez.
Nope. Yeah, because, you know, the original Jackal film I don't think was that crazy. I've never seen the, like, 1970s Jackal film, but,
Yeah.
like, yeah, that was a brutal scene. Like, that and, the other game that I probably... Well, I didn't have it at my house, but I had a cousin who had she had a PS2.
Uh-huh.
She's a little bit older than me and kind of like a tomboy. But she was like a actual gamer, you know what I mean?
That's always cool.
Yeah. She had GTA 3.
Nice.
Which is like, I remember fucking playing the shit out of that like a couple times when I
Oh,
visited.
dude.
And it was like, and that probably was not the best game for a 5-year-old to be exposed to.
Probably not, but
Cherish it.
honestly,
You know,
let me before we close off the stream, let me ask you something legit. What is the earliest memory? Well, let me put it like this: what is the first like movie or video game that like you like played or experienced that gave you nightmares? Because I got mine in the pocket.
Well, like I don't know if it was like nightmares, but I do remember vivid dreams about. Can I give you the story?
Yeah.
My long-winded version. So, remember, I grew up with the GameCube. That was like the system I had when I was little.
Yeah.
And it was 2004, and went to the GameStop. Remember the one over by the Price Chopper? That both of those things are now long gone. But my mom took me there, and I was, you know, I had a very good GameCube collection, and there's this dude there, and he kind of like looked like Alpha Omega Sin. He's wearing like all black though, and like fucking, like, he just looked like
It probably was Alpha.
Well, no, he's too tall. He wasn't a midget. I love Alpha, but that man is deceptively short. But I love Alpha. I wish him and Silent Rob would patch things
Yeah.
up. But listen,
I hope he's doing well. I haven't watched them
They're
lately.
both doing well. Well, Silent Rob was like, that's another story. He was addicted to like a drug, and then he finally
Oh.
got off, and it was, yeah, him and his girlfriend, I think they were on like opioids or some shit.
Oh,
He
that's
nearly died.
bad shit. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So he's back though, and he seems healthy.
that's good.
But Alpha is like a father. Like he's I think he got a couple of kids, so he doesn't like do as much as he. The only place where he's still active is Instagram.
Nice.
So, like, he'll occasionally drop the line, and like he made fun of some modern bullshit in gaming too, which was funny. But
Yeah.
basically, like, imagine a tall Alpha Megason, and like in 2004, that was like a really cool look to like be, not that.
Oh
he
yeah,
isn't today, but, like,
long hair, chain wallet, Jinko jeans.
yeah. So like he was almost like at first it was kind of intimidating. Like he's standing there, and then she's like, "Well, is that a good game for GameCube?" And he was holding up Metal Gear Solid: The fucking Twin Snakes,
Nice.
which turns out, yeah, because that was because the next M-rated game I had gotten was Halo 1 on PC, 2005. But that was actually the first M-rated game that I got ever was Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes, and the like one like kind of nightmarish like memory I have, which I think caused me like a couple of I don't know, they're just very vivid dreams that were kind of scary. They weren't like, because I've had like legit nightmares,
Oh yeah.
but like but never really about a video game. But this was probably the closest thing to it would be like from that game. It was like the corpses in like the prison cells.
Oh.
The naked corpse. And like I just remember that, and I was like, oh, that's scary. Like whenever I tried to play that game when I was little, I would try to avoid that section, because like I didn't want to.
You didn't want to find all the naked guys.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's how I avoided turning into a what is the term when people
Necrophile.
want to touch dead people? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I avoided
I
that,
mean-
Fred. I nearly avoided it.
I can't like that's why I kind of like mashed like movies and video games together, because I can't necessarily really think of a video game that ever gave me nightmares. But the earliest like memory I have, like having nightmares as a kid because of something I watched, was something I probably shouldn't have been watching. But I specifically remember me, my eldest sister, my mom, were all like huddled around because we didn't have an actual DVD player at the time. We had a little like portable one, a little portable one with a screen, and on it
Yeah.
we were watching Final Destination 3.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so imagine me shock horror in like after like, because we actually watched that movie a couple of times because it had the special feature where you could like make decisions and you get different scenes and shit. But I remember watching that movie like the first way through like normally, like pretty much like when it got like to the end of that movie, because like I'm not sure if you know how like Final Destination 3 specifically ends, but pretty much they go through all that bullshit. All these people die horribly. Death is coming after them in every form, and somehow they make it out alive at the end, only for them, like, for the last remaining people who are alive, they get stuck on a, like, train, and, like, they're basically fucked. Like, even though the girl has a premonition, they can't get off the train. They can't get away. They all die at the end. And I remember, like, vividly, like, seeing, like, the fucking, the one dude, because like I remember because the main dude, the main love interest dude in that movie, or like at least the like male like deuteragonist, like besides the girl, like he was the kid from Luck of the Irish, that one live action Disney movie where like the kid's turning into a leprechaun. And it's funny because he's a basketball player and he's getting shorter because he's turning into a leprechaun and he can't play basketball. Like, that's a very abridged version of that movie. But like, if you want to ever watch a fun sort of Irishy, I don't know if it would be considered racist, but like I love it. I find it charming. But that's a good movie to watch. But I really remember like this kid I watched growing up who was this leprechaun kid. And I'm like, oh, it's the leprechaun kid from that leprechaun movie. And at the end of the movie, he gets sucked out the fucking subway window and gets obliterated, and you see him splatter across the whole entire train. And like, I literally watched this thing, and I go tonight thinking about that. Like, I think about like how everybody.
How old were you?
Oh, probably around the same age you were, like 8 or 10.
Oh God, yeah, that's.
But pretty much, I literally like saw like all these people who I watched get through this harrowing thing just die anyways at the end, and this character from a movie that I grew up with, who I couldn't quite differentiate actors from their characters, so I just assumed it was the same character from the Leprechaun movie. And like I'm imagining this magical basketball man like getting like completely minced down an unforgiving concrete hallway while a train explodes and crashes. And I just go to bed thinking about that. And I just imagine myself like when I finally fall asleep, I'm on the train. It's just, and you can imagine how well that went. I woke up screaming.
Was that the Final Destination movie with the fucking logging truck?
No, that's 2.
Was that too?
That's
Yeah.
2. The airplane is 1. The logging truck is 2. The way the third one begins is the roller coaster
bridge?
crash.
Oh, yeah.
The bridge is the. Oh no, because it was Final Destination, Final Destination 2, Final Destination 3. Then I think they came out with 3D, and
Which is a while after.
yeah, and then after that, I think it was 5.
Oh, the one like the laser eye surgery.
Yeah, that's the same one where they're all on the bridge.
Yeah.
That one's fun.
Oh,
I remember watching 5 and oh god, the one guy who you know is obviously gonna die because he's a prick and a pervert. He's fat, bald, and ugly. he steals one of his coworkers who died, by the way. He steals his coworker's coupons to go to an acupuncturist.
oh no.
And he like death is fucking with him, and he falls on his face while he has the acupuncture needles in him. That's a new horror that I didn't need to know about. And then as he's trying to crawl to the fucking door, like a giant Buddha statue smashes his fucking head as a ironic comeuppance. Oh man, like for as bad as some of those movies are, I love the Final Destination movies. They're fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they're
Like,
ridiculous.
Speaking of Final Destination 3D for a moment, I always felt bad because it's super cruel because like legit like they never really figure out like how consistent the like premonition powers should be. So by the last few movies, like people are just seeing shit like in the future over and over again. And like in 3D, like literally, like this guy has the flash forward, right? And everybody dies. And then like they go through the whole entire movie, and like they always have to have that homage to the first movie where the lady gets hit by the fucking bus out of nowhere. And like it's the nice, well-to-do black dude that they end up saving in the movie. And it's like, but no, it gets worse because the black dude gets smashed by a fucking like garbage truck or something, and then he goes to the mall to try and save his girlfriend. She gets sucked into the escalator. Once again, a new fear that I didn't know I didn't need to have. and then for whatever reason he flashes back again, but for whatever reason it's super cruel. So it's right before the moment the black dude gets hit by the truck, and I'm like, no, you should have saved him again. He's so cool. I think my controller's died, so we might as well end this here.
All right, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back probably next week to do another stream together, or maybe this weekend if
maybe this
things
weekend,
allow.
maybe this.
We might be too busy celebrating someone's birthday.
Yes, my father is growing older. He will make it to 130, and I will just have to watch on my own deathbed as my dad's like, What's wrong, Fred? You feeling tired?
He's gonna age like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar.
No, he's gonna age like fucking Benjamin Button. He's just gonna get like really short one day and start aging backwards.
Oh man,
That was a weird fucking movie. You ever watch that movie? I only know the aging backwards
I watched
thing.
clips. Watch clips of it.
I
I can never get with the premise. The premise bothered me.
like the one thing that I always like just to end on like a weird tangent. Does
I'm on a weird tangent.
Does Brad Pitt turn into a toddler at the end of his life in that movie?
I don't remember. The ending was weird. I remember seeing like a clip of the ending, and I was just weirded out by it. I just because I was.
You repressed
I
it
was
because
like,
it was Brad Pitt being a weirdo.
Well, yeah. But that was fun. Listen, I'll be live tomorrow doing the fucking. I'm gonna put myself through immense suffering and watch that fucking Game Awards, and
Good
maybe
luck.
Jeff, I don't know if you're out there listening. Can you give us at least one like interesting thing? I know it's a glorified ad show, and like the picks are gonna be ridiculous, but like, please give us something. Like, I was saying this earlier, but like we did at one point. They did announce Bayonetta 3 at one of his award shows, and it's like, can we get something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's gonna be a terrible waste of time, but at least one little like kind of fucking crumb of a good announcement.
I forget. Did weird side tangent? Did Armored Core 6 come out this year or last year?
Last year, that was last fall, which is a game we probably after this one could play some do some multiplayer and kick the shit out of each other.
That would be fun. I got to get back into that game. I was streaming that game too, but like, I don't know why. Like one day I just got pissed off because I couldn't kill this one fucking Armored Core with like tank treads, and like that.
Yeah.
Like whenever I would kill him, I still have to get through the rest of the level and kill a boss at the end. And like for whatever reason, the first time I went through the level, I did it fine. I did it easily. I got through just fine. But for whatever reason, every time I try to kill that fucking tank tread fucker and then go for the boss, I always get mashed. I should just do like a solo stream, just like I did for the race for Mafia. Just see if I can beat it.
Every time you die though, you gotta have a shot.
Oh man, I don't think that's a good idea.
Every
I will be blackout drunk before an hour hits.
every gratuitous death you die, you gotta like not just I made it oopsie. I mean like a ridiculous death. Then you gotta take a shot. So then
every
2
death
hours.
to the tread fucker or the final boss of the area, I have to take a shot.
Yeah, or maybe a swig of a beer just so you're not late. So like I'm fucking watching a stream.
I want to liquidate my liver.
Fred is speaking Latin. I better drive. Yeah, Fred is puking while singing. That might be a bad sign.
It's just the scene from Team America, except it's in my living room. You just slowly see fucking whole entire room fill up with vomit. Meanwhile, some homeless man has just broken in my house to explain a soliloquy about dicks, assholes, and pussies.
Remember what they called Hollywood in that movie? That group? Fags?
Damn it. I can't wait to get back to these kinds of jokes.
All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in, and you have a good one, Fred.
You too. Y'all have a good night now here.
Godspeed, dude.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.